today because, okay, so we are recording so that I didn't forget. And we're going to get started here. So, I'm going to share my screen. This is the part I always mess up, right? So I'm going to try. See if I can do this. Because once I hit share screen, then my bar at the bottom goes away, and I don't know, I can't move my Zoom, and I don't know why. So bear with me. Let's see if we can do this. Yay! It worked, right? Yay!
Yes.
Oh, we got to go back to the top now. Come on, that one slide. Okay. All right. So we are recording. We are ready to roll. So we are halfway. We're more than halfway there. We're on week 4. We only have 2 weeks after today to go. As I said, this is a quick call tonight, but we're going to be talking. We're halfway there. So we're not living on a prayer. We're doing what needs to get done. Okay. So what you've learned so far, right? Have you been increasing your product knowledge, right?
Yes.
All right. I've been listening to that first tape over and over on my way to shows. So you learned that your belief decides which belief you can and cannot do, right? If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. So your brain can be trained, okay? I even have a book called Train Your Brain. So my kids always like, are you reading that Train Your Brain book again, Mom? So, okay. So you've learned how to talk to people out and about, right? And how to book parties at your shows and words to say at both. And you learn that your passion shines through and completely influence purchases, bookings at parties. And now last week, you learned how to host coach effectively to keep your sales high, your bookings at every party, and a constant pull of leads. Remember, host coaching is where you make the money. Your show is where you pick up the paycheck, okay? You learned that your skills, your will make a huge difference in every party. When you know your product, you can sell your product. When you know what to say, you know how to respond to objections and turn maybes into yeses. When you tweak your host coaching skills, you have much bigger parties with much better results. Just for an example, you know, if you have a host, sometimes the host, you can't even coach, right? You can't even get a hold of them. And it's so frustrating. And that happened to me this weekend. I have a $1,200 party on Saturday and I have a $35 party on Saturday. But my $35 party, guess what? She never called me back. She never texted me back. I didn't even know if I was having the party till Saturday. So it goes to show. All right. So did anybody have any questions about host coaching? Anything, have you tried anything new with your host coaching? Did you do any host coaching this week?
I think it went back to the wrong slide.
I don't want to go to that slide. I'm actually skipping that slide for a reason.
Host coaching, sometimes it is tough. Sometimes it's really tough to get the host to participate, and it is very difficult. You could some days I feel like I'm doing everything and that they're doing absolutely nothing. I'm doing the virtual parties right now. I have 2 different hostesses, and I noticed that the first one we had to cancel out her party because she locked herself out of the entire event, so I had no help, so we had to reschedule it. And now, so her and the other one are both scheduled, and the host coaching, I feel, for a virtual party is pretty simplistic. And it's even difficult to get them just to do that. So it's a little frustrating sometimes whenever you end up with the ones that are not willing to do their part.
Well, I think what I'm going to try to do is, I learned my lesson from this weekend. You know, if I'm not getting participation from my host, then I'm literally putting something in the mail to her. So hopefully she'll open it and say, you know, something saying, hey, you know, this is what you need to be doing, or a checklist of some sort that I'm going to be saying. The fridge sheet that we talked about last week, which I have to retype and get out to you girls too. So I will do that. Anybody else try anything this week in host coaching, or you're waiting to try?
I gave both of the girls a checklist, and that's the first time that I've ever really done that. And I made a checklist for them for the virtual party. So I got a little more communication from them both. So hopefully that's going to be a little more successful.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Everybody's quiet tonight. Are you guys watching the halftime show? All right, I'm gonna make this quick. Okay, so today we're going to just talk about recruiting. Okay, and the slides that are on here, I'm not going to talk about, because the slides on here are talking about the interview part of recruiting, and what I've learned from this week in coaching my team, I learned a lot about what's happening and what's not happening. And so I'm not going to talk about recruiting, the interview part, because we really need to be informing, inviting, and then interviewing, right? Have you heard of the 3 I's?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of you are informing different ways by maybe using the coupon in your folder, or maybe you're giving the I forget what it's called, Taste the Good Life brochure, and you're putting it in your folder, so that you're giving them information where you're informing them, but then you're not taking it to the next step of inviting. Okay, and really recruiting is just a conversation. Okay, there's not a perfect thing you could say to someone who's not interested, and there's nothing really wrong you could say to the person who's going to sign. You're just helping that potential consultant decide if this is something for them. So really, the interview part, you really don't even have to do. We're going to go through it quickly, what you can do in the interview part. But what are you girls doing to inform and invite at your parties and prior to your parties? Are you doing anything?
I haven't done a live party for a while, since I've been out of the scene and I'm just coming back. But what I really like to use the slide. I utilize the slide during my parties. I think it brings up a perfect timing and placement for the recruiting section, and it details the benefits to our and the perks to our position. So for me, I felt like it was pretty ideal.
Okay, so what Nikki is talking about, I'm trying to see here, is this little slide that you can get on the supply order. It's the booking and recruiting slide. One side is booking, one side is recruiting. So it's something you could just throw out there and mention all of this. Okay.
Yeah, I like mine.
Yeah. Is anybody playing the ticket game?
What's the ticket? Oh, just, when they start asking you questions.
Ask you questions about your job.
Yeah, I've used that one. I really like that one too. It gets people talking a lot. Mm-hmm. Even if they usually don't always start out talking about your job, but it almost always inevitably ends that way.
Right.
And then it really kind of piques their interest and curiosity.
Right. And also some of the other things, okay? We talked about the Kid Credit coupon going in your folder, the Taste the Good Life flyer going in your folder. And then when you're host coaching, saying to them, hey, I put some information in there. Have you had a chance to look at it? Is it something that you might be interested in? A simple question, okay?
Dee, this is Fran. I have a question.
Okay.
If it's okay. I'm not real. I wondered, how they have that red flyer now, the red pamphlet that we put in for recruiting.
Yes.
Is there anything new coming out? Do you know? I'm not real crazy about that.
You're not crazy?
Or can you say?
I don't know if there's any. I haven't seen anything come out. There was definitely nothing in our box other than a pack of catalogs and Seasons Best, a mini catalog, and a solution product thing for the new products. That's all I got, so I haven't seen anything. There might be something on the webinar tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Okay. Do
You know what?
you typically put that in your host for your hostess?
I do put that in all my hosts. Yes, I do.
Is there anything else you're putting in that's
Then what I tell them to do is go to my website, click on Be a Consultant, and there's a ton of information there.
okay?
Yep. Okay, so it's just having that conversation, the ticket game, going over the door prize drawing stuff. I just signed a girl, her party was last week, and she signed when she closed. Literally, we closed her party. I exited out, we got online, and she signed up, and she used her kid credit. And the only thing I said to her, she was in a conversation at her party. This is my host. She's in a conversation with her guest, and I heard her talking, saying, she just had a baby. She has 2 little boys. I think they're like 4 and 5, and she just had a baby. And having this conversation about going back to work and how hard it's going to be. And all I did was I turned around and I said, Jackie, you really should seriously think about looking at Pampered Chef. That's all I said to her. We didn't even have a conversation. That was all I said to her. It was enough to pique her interest that when I got home, she texted me and said, you know what, can we talk? I'm thinking about doing this. And guess what? My past host, she booked from, is now spinning under her. Okay? Because they were both there in that conversation. And I was talking to the past host that night. So
Can some people turn their mics off? Because it's really hard to concentrate on what you're saying with everyone. There's background music or something.
If anybody's not in a quiet area, or maybe you have something, your connection, if you get background music, just hit mute, please, and then you can unmute to come back on. I can hear it now, too.
I can hear it since we started, but I don't. The one thing I did want to say, too, is I think a lot of people aren't on video. Like, most of the people I have here are not on video, but I think that they forget that down in the bottom left corner, if you don't click that, you can't participate in the video. You can hear everything. You can't see anyone, and no one can see you either.
Karen, I'm not sure if you have your phone on. I don't know if you're on mute or up on video, but somebody does have background noise. All right, so I just encourage you all to start having this conversation. Just start asking, have you ever thought about doing this? Could you use some extra money? What would you do with your $500 a month, okay? Once you start recruiting, once you start informing and inviting, then you want to pick up the phone and call me, your director, or Nikki and whoever else is on here that may not be on my team. Reach out to your director. Because really, we just follow a 7-question recruiting flyer to recruit people, find out things. And I'm not even going to go over that with you today because I don't want to overwhelm you with that. But that's what this is. This is pretty much what we do. We ask these interview questions. Someone is making a lot of noise in the background and talking. Please mute. Okay. Somebody is coughing or sneezing, and if you can mute yourself. All right. So these are, we're just asking people, tell me what interests you. What type of qualities do you think you'd have to make a great consultant? If you look at the calendar, these are just simple questions to ask people to help them decide if they want to do it. Okay. We also, I don't know if you guys have seen these interview cards. Have you seen these? They're actually on the supply order.
Yeah, I have some.
So you want to start out with, tell me about yourself. So maybe you're at your party and someone's really excited and you're like, oh my goodness, now I got to interview her here and I don't know what to say and I don't have time to call Dee. You could take these cards and lay them out. First thing you're going to say is, tell me about yourself. And then you're going to say, which one of these interests you the most? And they may say, tell me, the support I get, and the answers are on the back. Or they may say, you know what, how do I join? And you're going to tell them how to join by going to your website and joining. But we're not going to go over that because all I want you to do is inform, invite, and then come see me and say, hey, Dee, I have someone that's interested. I don't know what to say. Okay? That's as simple as that. So don't freak out. It's just a conversation. That's all it is. I'm not doing anything different. than having that conversation. And like I said, I just shared with you what I said with Jackie. Okay? I remember, Kate, at your party, we did talk about it. It was just very informal, wasn't it? And then Kaylee's took a couple months, right?
Yep. Sorry, I was muted.
So, but look here, look how many people are on here that are past hosts that are now consultants. So 95% of your team is going to be your past consultant. So having that conversation, that's where it starts. All right. So we're still working on your skills. We're not moving on from there yet. We still have some work to do on our skills. And so skills are really a major component of your success in this business. The more you tweak those skills, the more you learn about selling, the more you learn about host coaching, booking, and recruiting, the better your business is going to be, okay? And we're not asking you to change everything at once. Just tweak it as you're going along. If your selling is great, if you have a high show average, then maybe your selling is fine. But maybe your host coaching, maybe you're going to your show and you don't have enough people there. You're not having enough outside orders. Then you're thinking, oh, maybe I need to. Okay? If you're not getting bookings at your party, then that's the skill you want to work on. Okay? If you're not getting recruiting, then you need to work on that skill. Okay? So just remember, the bigger your skill in each of these areas, the bigger your check. All right? So again, skills are one of the easiest pillars in our business because it's the one everyone can fix anytime. Simply by practicing recruiting. Practice with your friend, okay? She might just sign, who knows, all right? Developing personal about your business. Studying the simple recruiting cards that we just talked about. Listen to these home office trainings. This is something I'm going to repeat and repeat and repeat every week, okay? Come to the team meetings. If, spring launch is tomorrow night, you're on this class, but, there's going to be other classes in the near future I'm going to be offering. Going to conference, start thinking about August, putting a conference on your calendar. I shared on our page, was anybody on Coffee Talk on Saturday morning? That's another great thing. Just dial in and listen, okay? Reading books, watching YouTube's training, doing lots of shows, virtual or live. So you'll get better sharing with every party, okay? Skills are easily taught. So if you guys keep practicing, you'll get it.
So the Wednesday night, is it always at the same time?
Wednesday night. Yes, it is, but it's not every Wednesday night. It's only once a month.
Okay. And what is it, like always routinely the first, second week?
It is, but I can't remember which one it is.
Okay.
You can find it online, and it's also usually in the Stir as well.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Anybody have any questions? I told you this was a quick call tonight.
No, only thing is just if you can, if you have a minute to send me the slides from the week I'm in.
Okay. I have to figure out how to do that, but I will.
Even if you can't figure it out any other way and you just take a picture and you could shoot them straight to my Facebook Messenger or something.
I'll have Jim show me how to save this. All right.
Thank you.
So your homework this week is Top Recruiters Tell All with Brenda Coppy and Genevieve Black. Brenda Coppy is a dear friend of mine. She is fast-tracking directors like crazy. So, all right, so I will post the recruiting link for you all so that you don't have to write it down. And then again, these are the things we'll be talking about on your coaching calls. So make sure you get on my my calendar for this week, or you guys getting on Sharon's calendar.
I'm on Sharon's, and Amanda is also on Sharon's for tomorrow too.
Okay, good. And you guys are all going to her spring launch tomorrow?
Yes.
I was playing with the products tonight.
I can't wait.
So excited. Actually, there was a couple I had to put together, so I had my husband do that. So I'm not I can't do this. So. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, girls.
Thank you so much, Steve.
All right. You guys have a great night and go Falcons, right?
That's right.
Right.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.